fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today with a project video, I guess. I've been collecting pieces to do like a cross-stitch conversion or a blank canvas project or something like that. And I've been collecting items and just hadn't kind of got around to actually doing anything with them. So the other day when I had my spare drills pulled out, I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try to do some of these kind of projects that I've had hanging around waiting in the wings, just to see what I could do. I just wanted a couple of really small, quick projects. So what I did was I went out and I just did a search for pixel art or 8-bit art or 16-bit art. And you can find all kinds of free patterns out on the internet. You can buy patterns, you can do all kinds of things. But pixel art translates really well to diamond painting because it's essentially the same thing. Diamond painting, pixel art, what's that bead art, perler, diamond painting, all the same kind of thing. You basically have a grid and you lay down colors, right? And make a pattern. So I found a couple, and I had some small pieces of fabric, I guess I want to say, from DDotz. So when I went to Joann's, oh, it's been a while, I don't even remember when, but at some point I found Joann sells a lot of DDotz stuff, and DDotz is also Diamond Art, Leisure Art. They're all owned by, see, this says leisurearts.com, but they're all owned by some other company. I can't remember at the moment what the name of the company is, but anyway, here we go. Needle Art World is the eventual owner, because this says diamonddots.com, but it's Leisure Arts, and then made in China, Needle Art World, which apparently is in Hong Kong. So yeah. Anyway, so I went out and I found some designs, and I just wanted some really simple ones. So I found this cute little heart, which I ended up making. Now, I bought a package of these little pieces of fabric. It's already got the glue on there. It's got the cover sheet. It's like just a regular diamond painting canvas, except super small, right? This is 20 by 40 squares. And then it came in a package with two of these larger ones, which are 30 by 50, right? Yeah, 30 by 50. Each one of these little squares is 10 by 10. Now, the reason I got these is because DDotz only does, well, I shouldn't say that. Most of their canvases are round drills. And so I got these thinking, well, these will be good for round drills, because most blank canvases that you get are made for squares, and I have a lot of spare rounds. And so I thought, well, I'll do something with those. And I was out looking for various patterns, and I found, like I said, the heart, which I recreated here, and I found this little bee. And however, you can see on my notes here, I made a note of all of the colors that I used. Of course, 310 is black, but for the rest of them, because it was just a little design I'd printed out, there was no colors for me to, so it was just a matter of me figuring out what colors I wanted to put where to make it look like the design. And some of them were fairly easy. Of course, we all know 310 is black, but then you get into some of the other colors, and I just don't have them all memorized. So then I thought, well, I'll pull out my little color chart here, and it's got the name, the DMC, the RGB code, along with the color. Now, I will say the first problem is this printed color does not actually match some of the drill colors that I had. Some of the blues, the dye lots and things were just off, and so it was a little hard to kind of just look through here and say, okay, I'm going to look for a red. And also, not all of the colors are together. So, you know, you'll have some reds here together, but then, you know, the rest of the reds will be spread out through here. There's one here, there's some there. So if you don't have all 400 and some colors memorized, which I do not, makes it a little difficult. And so, yeah, and like this one looked like a good color to use, but it was way brighter in the drills that I had than I wanted. So the color card was not as helpful as I was hoping. I did manage to complete the little heart, but it took way longer than I wanted it to, searching through the colors, trying to find the drills and all of that. And by the time I got done, just with this little heart, I thought, okay, this is not what I want to do. While I appreciate the thought of having these little small canvases and doing something small, this is not how I personally want to spend my time. Now, I do think these would be really great for small projects for kids, or maybe if you're introducing someone to diamond painting, or if you want to do like a small cross stitch conversion, or you find a pixel art pattern, you know, maybe, gosh, for my nephew, you know, I'd do like a 8-bit Iron Man or something like that if I could find a pattern for it. So I did like them for that reason. Although, I don't know if you can tell, but this one is printed at an angle and cut at an angle as well. So I'm not going to be able to use this one. That would drive me bananas that it was constantly at an angle, because there's no real way to fix that. Even if you cut off all the stuff, it's actually printed at an angle. So this one to me is just trash. But like I said, I do think that it's useful. You know, it comes with the sticky already on there. You don't have to do anything. You just peel off the paper and go to town. So I do like that part of it, but I just thought I would enjoy it way more. So what I decided was, rather than some of these really kind of tiny small projects, which I thought would be nice to do, but ended up just, for me personally, being more frustrating because I felt like I was spending more time trying to find colors of drills than I was actually getting anything done, I decided I wasn't going to do these. So I'll put a link to these down below, because I think they're good for certain projects, just not for me. Not what I thought I would use them for. So yeah, just not how I had envisioned. So like I said, you know, I drug out my spare drills. I had to hunt through all the colors, no color chart. And I thought, okay. Again, a good project maybe to do with little kids. I could see doing this, just taking like literally dumping a bunch of drills into trays and things, and like taking them to the preschool and let the preschool kids just go wild on a sheet of this and let them stick. Because, you know, they would just, some would make patterns, some that would just be all random, but they'd have fun doing it. So I could see using it for that kind of thing. But for these small projects like this, I can't see it. And because, you know, now I've got all of this also left down here when I cut around it, then what do I do with that? I mean, I guess you could fill it in with a color or something, but anyway. So yeah, just, I didn't feel like I was using enough of my spares to make it useful to me, and I felt like I was spending way more time hunting for colors than I was getting anything done. So I decided that's probably not going to be something I spend my time on. However, I do have blank canvases. I have this DDotz, what they call their freestyle fabric, and it is just like those little pieces. It's got the grid pre-printed on it. It's got glue on it. All you have to do is take off the cover sheet and start drilling. So this one is 12 by 19 or 30 by 48. So it's big enough to do an actual, you know, decent sized project. And I also have a 30 by 30 blank canvas, and you can see this one is made for rounds. It's got the training wheels on it. Now, I never want to trust it, because we all know that rounds and squares are different sizes. So I did test it out with a few round drills just to make sure that they fit, and they do. So I've got 2 blank canvases that I could use for round projects to use up my round spares, because like I said, most of the canvases I've seen, like the blank ones you can get, I know Heaven and Earth Design sells blank canvases. I know Jaded Gem Shop sells blank canvases. Places like that, they're made for squares. They're not made for rounds. and I wanted to use up some of my rounds. So I thought, well, okay, so if I'm going to do a project like this, I want it to be a big enough project, like a 30 by 30 or a little bit larger, where I can go through, I know what color drills I need, I've got a pattern to follow, and that brings me to these, which is pattern books, basically, that I bought at Joann's. Now, these three are particularly, they say diamond art, but they're DDotz. They've got the little DDotz logo down here. So I got this one the first time, and it's just called Expressions, and it's got like a lot of little sayings and things like that in here. There's a lot of instructions on how to do it, diamond painting, if you've not done it before. And then I picked these two up on one of my Joann orders. This one is animals. So as you can see, it's got some really cute animals in it. So there's a horse, there's a deer, a koala, some bears. There's a giraffe, an eagle, a pig, a raccoon, but big enough that, you know, I could do it on a 30 by 30 or something else. I don't know if it tells you what size it is. Let's see. I guess you just count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 48, 40, no, 49. So almost 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Oh, see, those aren't exactly 10, so I'd have to count them up. But anyway, so patterns that you could do that are all animals. And then I got this one, which is landscapes. So there's some really cool looking, there's mountains, and it has the patterns for you, and it has all of the colors already in here. Now, I would have to do some conversions because obviously these are the DDotz numbers and I would be using my spares, but they do offer a conversion. You can download that for free. A conversion that tells you what all these drill codes are in regular DMC numbers, so you could use those. And yeah, it's just got some really cute designs in here. There's a mountain one. And then, because at the time I thought again that I was going to be using kind of these small piecemeal canvases, this book I actually bought on Amazon, and I'll stick a link in the description box below to this book and also the DDotz books. And this one is cross stitch patterns, but again, it's basically the same thing as diamond painting, and so you just get the pattern that you can follow. Now this one is a little bit different in that it's designed for cross stitch, and so it's got the legend that shows you the DMC codes and the anchor codes because they assume you're going to be stitching it. However, I've got the grid here and I can just translate that onto my diamond painting. So, and there's some really cute ones in here. There's a couple of sloths, an elephant, some butterflies, the Mexican hat, the sombrero, the piñata. And yeah, just you can get little books like these. I looked at several of them before deciding on that one because I thought the sloths were cute. So that would be something that I could put on one of these, or maybe even fit on one of those small pieces if I wanted to. But both the cross stitch book and this one, they already have all of the colors picked. So before I started the project, I could go through, pick all my colors, have everything kind of laid out the way that I want, and then I could start my painting. And you can pick the painting based on what you want to do. Like if I wanted to get rid of a lot of blues and greens, this would be a good option. I don't know if there's one in here that has a ton of black, but a lot of fall colors there if you wanted to get rid of those. And yeah, so I just, after kind of sitting through and going through all of my spares and pulling out colors, you know, one bag at a time and doing 4 drills and then putting it back, it just didn't seem worth it. Not only did it not use enough of my spares, I mean, you couldn't even tell on most of my colors that I'd even used any of them. And I mean, I get that this is a small project, but like I said, I just think these are good for small crafts, for small children, for small projects, not really something, I mean, I thought that's what I wanted to do. I wanted just a small project, but all of the kind of organizing and everything that you need to do is still there. So doing those small projects, at least the way I do them, doesn't really save me any time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these because I'd actually forgotten that I had this 30 by 30 canvas. I'm going to pick one of these either expressions or landscapes. I think I'm going to pick one that I think would use a color that I have a lot of, and then that'll be how I decide kind of what project I want to do. So like this one would use a lot of black, obviously. And I mean, it would be simple enough to just change the colors if I wanted to. But now I know I need to do that before I start the project if I want to save myself some frustration, because yeah, having to kind of thumb through all of these and pick out all of the little individual colors, even though I think it turned out really, really well, and it's a cute little heart, it just, yeah. And I mean, maybe I could use some more of my spares by just kind of filling in around the heart as well with a color that I have a lot of, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to do what I said and just take a bunch of my colors of spares that I know I have a ton of and just dump them all into a container and then go buy some more of these and drop them off at the preschool and let them do it as like an extra activity or something. They do enrichment activities with the kids, and I think that would be a fun freestyle art activity for the kids to do. And yeah, that'd be an easy way for me to use up my spares and stuff too. I might actually have to talk to them about that, about doing that. So yeah, I want to do some of these projects so that I can use up my spares, but I think the small ones are not for me. I definitely need to have something at least this size or bigger. And I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick, but we'll see. Something. I don't know if it will be one of these expressions or one of the landscapes. I suppose it could be one of the animals. I'll have to go through and look and see what I want to use up for my spares and pick one. There's a lot of blue in that one as well. A lot of orange and black in that one. That would be good, except I don't think I have enough orange for that. So that may play into it too. Which ones do I have enough of that I could do them? So yeah. Maybe that one. It's a lot of dark colors. Maybe I could swing that one. We'll see. Anyway, I will put links to all of these in the description box below. But yeah, if you're looking for something fun to do, again, not that I don't think that these are fun, just that for the amount of work required up front, I'd rather work on a bigger project than some of these small ones. Because really for me, it ended up almost being the same amount of work. And if I'm going to do that, I'd rather have a bigger project that I can do something with at the end of it. And they have other sizes of these. This was the only size they had when I bought this particular one, but I know they have other sizes. So if you're looking for blank canvases to use for your rounds, this would be a good option. And this came from a budget company, and I don't remember which one, but I'm sure they probably all have them by now. So yeah, just a good way to use a lot of your spares. And you know, if you're interested in doing these, I mean, you could convert these into square diamonds if you wanted to. It would just be a matter of getting the right sized canvas for it and then picking out your drills. But yeah, just to give you some options. And of course, any cross stitch pattern that you come across can be converted as well. So if you're looking for those, there's a ton of people on Etsy and other places selling some really cool ones. So okay, I think that's it for me today, guys. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.